As the year winds down and we begin to look ahead to next year, I want to share a few resources that I've discovered that have the potential to positively impact my teaching and my students' learning moving forward. I was thinking of discussing some of these resources during one of our department meetings, but I think there are a bunch of benefits for us being able to check them out on our own time and being able to revisit as we begin to think and look ahead to next year. So first off, I'm creating this video or a screencast using QuickTime, which is on all of our computers. So I just did that by searching and typed in QuickTime and just click enter and it comes up right under File. I click New Screen Recording. Mine's grayed out because I'm using a screen recording. So there's been a lot of buzz around school of a program called Nearpod that many teachers have been using to enhance their in-class lessons and specifically to increase student engagement. So before I show sort of an example, imagine it as like an interactive PowerPoint or SmartNote presentations where students answer questions in real time, and you get to both receive the feedback from how students are processing through and what their understanding level is, and also give some feedback back to students. So students join a lesson here by using a code. I'm going to jump into a lesson that I actually found from their library of free videos. So as you go live with a lesson, you give this code to your students. They don't need to log in. They just use that code and then just write their name and they're right in to the lesson. I'm going to scroll ahead a little bit. So you could have some just standard slides. Review. This one is reviewing lines. And you could have an entry ticket. So I'm the teacher, so mine is filled out, but this could be blank, and students could type in the equation of the line that's shown in the graph, and you could see all the students' responses. And that's one of the things that's really interesting. As the teacher, you can see everybody's responses. You can put all of them on the board. They can be anonymous. They can have students' names attached to them if you want to create maybe some dialogue. Additionally, you can have some definitions, but additionally you can embed Desmos. So I'm going to again scroll ahead here. This is a Desmos page that's in, and this would be what students see. And each student could go through and edit their own line. In this case, they could use the sliders to try to match the slope and then the intercept and come up. And what students would do is take a screenshot of their answers and submit that. So in the middle of class, as students are working through and trying to create the best line of best fit here, they would take a screenshot and submit it. So I'll show you on this next page. Students would submit here, and as a teacher you would see each of their images. I'm sort of showing where their images would show up. There are no students in my class, and you could project one of them onto the board and say, does this slope seem right? You could project a couple of them on the board, maybe show, all right, well, one person has, these two people have the same slope but maybe a different intercept. It's just a quick example, and again, I don't have student examples at the moment, but I see a bunch of ways that we can use this, both in some of the earlier algebraic-based courses, but also as students start to think about harder or more difficult concepts, they might write down answers to maybe a little more open-ended questions, or at least show their thinking for some more detailed problems. I think there's a lot of ways to use this within our classrooms. Reach out to me if you want to hear more about this resource, and there's a few more resources on the next pages. Thanks.